Bonjour mes amis, et bienvenue en Pendu dans un Cercle de Lune. Hello friends. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, if you are a returning visitor, you know that by my attempt at a French introduction that this is still my series in which I use Terre de Marseille adjacent or antique Italian decks to help me unpack the information I received from the spread that I do earlier in the week. And if you are a follower of this channel, you probably also already know that I have begun my deep dive year into the Lenormand system, the Lenormand system. And I've done my first Lenormand spread on camera. And this spread is also a response to that spread. So, friends, if you have not seen that video, I highly recommend, as always, that you go and watch that first. So I'll put a card up here for you to click on and hop on over, watch that video, and then come back. So you see why I'm reading the cards in the way that I'm reading these cards at this time. Because we always read the cards in response to the question and the situation, right? So that is the question, the situation that these cards are responding to. Okay, so that was my first reading on camera with a Lenormand deck. And I'd love to know what you think, whether you think that I should do it a different way. If you have any ideas about that, let me know in the comments below. I'm curious. I'm feeling my way through this right now, so any suggestions might be helpful. But we did have a very interesting reading, and just in case you have already seen that and you're coming back, the cards were pointing towards, I believe, our following. Well, it was called the Book of Secrets, right? And there was a specific reason why I titled that video, The Book of Secrets. And go look at that video to see why I called it The Book of Secrets. But it seemed to be pointing us towards taking a veil of our own inner strength and perhaps finding a mentor or somebody who can guide us as we engage in the kind of work that we love to do, which will give us the direction to move around any obstacles that might be placed in our path, either by ourselves or by some tricky, deceitful person that might be out there. Yeah? And it really seems to me that the obstacle is here. The call is coming from inside the house. Yeah? That we're having our own emotional breakdown, break apart, break open, and that's disruptive, but there's another way, right? And so, this week, as I do every week, I ask the question, what is the central message? And the specific question for this year is going to be, what is the central message of the last Lenormand spread? That's the question. So, what am I going to do? In just a moment, I am going to show you the spread that I got from this. I'll talk about the decks, and then we'll read the two sections of the spread together. Separately, but you and me together. Are you all ready? Here's the spread. If you are a friend of this channel, you may be a little bit surprised by this spread, by the Oracle deck that I decided to pair with this wonderful, wonderful Tarot deck. Now, the Tarot deck that you saw is a beautiful deck. It's the Tarot of Jean Payen from 1743. This copy is a facsimile done by the brilliant Marco Benedetti. And it's in a beautiful box. It's a wood box, and I don't know if there are any available anymore. If there are decks available, reach out to Marco Benedetti. Yeah, I'll put an email address for you to use to contact Marco and ask if you want to get this deck, ask if he has any available. It's a beautiful deck. Just saying. Okay, so there's that. Those are the 3 cards on top. And they give us the primary answer to the question, what is the central message of this week's Lenormand Spread? The 3 cards below are not from the Oracle de Lune, which I would normally pair with a Tarot de Marseille deck. For some reason, well, I know the reason. I felt drawn to opening up my Moon Oracle. It's called The Moon Oracle. It's by Carolyn Smith and John Astrop. It's mass market. And no, it doesn't exactly match precisely Tarot de Marseille woodblock print art, but there's a cleanliness to it. There's a pippishness to this deck that I think works nicely with Tarot de Marseille. I was surprised. Now, the reason I decided to pull this Moon Oracle was because the central card for the Lenormand Spread for this week, the central top card was the Moon card. And I was looking at that Moon. I looked at my Oracle decks, and I thought, Moon. So I pulled it out, and I thought, nah, I shouldn't. And then I looked and I thought, yeah, why not? So that's why we got what we got. We've got the Tarot de Païen, again by Marco Benedetti, and the Moon Oracle, which is based on the phases of the moon plus goddesses of the moon. It's a really, really interesting system, an oracle system by Carolyn Smith and John Astrop. So we're going to start off with the 3 cards from the Tarot deck first, and then we'll read the oracle cards. Let me show you the Tarot cards up close and personal once more. Here they are. The 3 cards you saw from left to right were the 9 of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and the 4 of Cups. So we've got 3 of the 4 elements, which is nice. The one we're missing is coins, which might be something to keep at the back of our heads, that we're either the material, the financial, the resources, the work side of our lives is okay, or that might be something we might need to give a little bit more attention to. But we look at the 3 cards in the order that they came out, and that's the order that I'm going to read them, because as you see, especially in this deck, the Queen is looking with the swords behind her and is looking towards the cups. So this is the direction that we're going to read. And we start off with the 9 of Swords, which is a beautiful card. You'll notice that these swords, especially in this deck, can you see that? The swords here and here and top and bottom on this side, they're broken up, right? Why? Well, probably old wood blocks, probably some bit of the wood was chipped. But why in a reading? Well, the 9 of Swords could be things like a perspective shift. Yeah? But it could also be a loss of belief. Broken ideology, the things that we thought we could trust, those ideas, our beliefs are broken down. It could be a time for re-evaluation, which would make sense coming from loss of belief. It could also be an intellectual letting go, a breaking of old habits as well, especially habits of thought, negative patterns of thought could be we would do well to break those patterns. Sometimes this card could say that the light has appeared after a long search. This one sword here is piercing all of the other swords, right? The light has appeared. Something is shining through. Old ideas, old beliefs are being called into question. And I think that's part of the reevaluation and the letting go aspect of the Nine of Swords. And that makes absolute sense, because even though we had a lot of positive information from the Lenormand deck, the tarot cards that we had surrounding the Lenormand spread this week showed or pointed us towards a breakdown or a break apart. So this is where we begin. Maybe we've lost our beliefs in addition to a loss of our inspiration. Maybe we're asked to do a little bit of reevaluation, of doing some introspection to discover the awakening that is possible here. But if we don't do that, all we're going to get is loss of belief, our ideologies broken down. Right? And so we might be asked to let go. And that was pointed towards a little bit in the Four of Swords from the Smith-Waite deck. Yeah, in our mental sphere, we were asked to meditate, to contemplate, to heal. So that is also included in this card as well, right? Let go. The beliefs, the ideologies that are broken down, let them go. Allow the perspective to shift. Discover the light that is shining from within. And if we do that, we can embody our Queen of Wandsness, which is our courage and our determination, our inner joy, our passionate joy. It's our satisfaction of living creatively. And some of that was indicated in this week's larger spread, or Lenormand spread, yeah? We have a sexual and creative person, a passionate, maybe capricious and instinctive person, but a passionate person. And maybe we can embody that for ourselves. To rediscover our passions. Fully experience them. Maybe even fully experience our sexuality. That could help us too. But finding our courage and determination is going to help us move farther away from that breakdown and break apart of the Nine of Swords as we move into the Four of Cups. Now, interestingly, the Four of Cups was a problem card in the Smith-Waite system, in the Smith-Waite portion of the Lenormand spread. Especially because the Four of Cups had fallen into the element of fire, so it was ill-dignified and it wasn't happy. The problematic aspects of the Four of Cups were highlighted there. Here, the Four of Cups are being read very differently. Maybe we might be asked for controlled emotions, but probably more than controlling them, we want to remain calm. Now, the Queen looks forward and with that passion is calm. The Queen is able to encounter and manifest co-creatively with her community, in solidarity with family, friends, whoever her peeps are. She feels a solidly established sense of love, of self and of other, right? And that was very strongly highlighted in the Lenormand spread, yes. And we trust the other, and we have our self-confidence. Here in the Four of Cups, as well as with our beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Queen. Self-confidence. And we sense that we belong. We belong here among the people that we interact with, among the people we co-create with. So we move from that sense of brokenness And we allow ourselves to let go of that as we look within, as we look towards what remains, who remains. And we discover our inner Queen of Wands, our creative, joyful one, the one who is satisfied with the creative potential that she has, knowing that we are all he's, she's, and theys, right? Doesn't matter what body we inhabit, whether it's a male body, a female body, a cis body, a trans body, an intersex body, whatever we inhabit, whatever body we are co-creating, we have all of these in us. We have the she, we have the he, we have the they. And so we discover our inner Queen of Wands. As we give our attention to the solidly established love that we feel and we share with others, and we trust others, and we trust others with our sense of self-confidence, right? We trust others knowing that we belong here with them as we co-create, living our powerful intentional lives. Now, friends, we got 3 cards from that oracle system below that we want to take a peek at. Let me show you those cards right now. I'd frankly been holding off on working with this deck for quite a while. And now maybe I'm just ready for it. Maybe it's ready for me. But I really do appreciate this deck more than I did before. And I think that this Oracle deck works surprisingly well with this spread in particular, but I think will work surprisingly well with Tarot de Marseille. And this, again, is the Moon Oracle. And we've started off from left to right. We had the crescent waxing fire moon. Then we had Freya, a goddess of sex and fertility. Interesting that she was right under the Queen of Wands, right? The sex and fertility goddess right underneath the Queen of Wands adds a lot of power to that Queen of Wands information, potential. And then we moved into the full moon of the Earth. Yeah, the Earth full moon. Very interesting. We go from the waxing moon, which is the moon that starts off small and it's in the process of getting bigger, and we move into the full moon, into manifestation, right? So let's start off with this card here. It's a beautiful card. Kind of looks like a pomegranate to me in the larger sense, but the moon is there in the center, kind of making me think of Persephone going into the underworld a little bit. But maybe not. You see that the titles are shoots, like the shoots of a plant, right? Also impulse. So for the creator of this deck, this card is our impulsiveness, that can't wait to do or be or become quality of ourselves. That's the beginning. The impulse to start is there. In the midst of this cracking apart and cracking down, there's that impulse to, I can't wait to start again, if we recognize it. Now, the moon right now is in Sagittarius. So there is a little part of the guidebook that gives us the meaning for this card when the moon is in Sagittarius, which is what? Eyes on the horizon. And maybe even the horizon past that. Yeah? Keep the eyes on the horizon, and especially when we get to that horizon, the horizon past that. We want to keep forward thinking, forward viewing, moving forward with hope. That's what we got here. Our can't wait to get started and moving forward with hope. Something of those which were indicated, in the Lenormand part of the deck. The Lenormand Spread. Why do I have trouble with that? Because I'm at the beginning of the deep dive. Okay, so we're indicated in the Lenormand Spread. Next card, Freya. which is the goddess of sex and fertility, like I said. For the authors, this card asks us to be prepared to sell, that we are prepared to sell ourselves to get what we want. Yeah, to sell our talents, to sell aspects of self perhaps, not necessarily sex work, though there's nothing wrong with sex work, but probably not all of us are sex workers. So, prepared to sell ourselves, not necessarily our souls, but ourselves to get what we want. Maybe we want to lower our standards. Maybe our standards have been set a little bit too high. Maybe we want to bring them down a notch in order to get what we want, for our ability to match our expectations with results. Yeah? And Freya, in her death and rebirth, she overthrows outmoded ideas in favor of innovative thinking. And that's what we're called to do, I think. Yeah? We go, because of that Nine of Swords, right? We need to overthrow that old. We need to die to the past beliefs, the past ideologies, the past expectations, the past things that we trapped ourselves in. We want to overthrow those and find our new, innovative way of thinking. And that was pointed towards when we looked at the fox in a more positive sense in the Lenormand Spread. Right? And this being Aquarius allows us to use our inventiveness and wit to achieve what we want. And that was suggested in the fox, thinking outside the box to get what we want. So it's interesting that this card showed up. And then where do we go? We go into the full moon. The full moon, this was right underneath the Four of Cups. And this is the full moon in the element of earth, and it's called flower and achievement. So we've gone from shoots and impulse to flower and achievement. Exactly the direction we want to go. Beautiful card, right? We got what looks like maybe a green lotus, maybe. So this is the successful completion of a material project. Getting the stuff done. Getting the stuff that we want to have done. It's that our hard work starts to pay off. Our financial outcomes look good. Now we're moving in the direction of succeeding in doing the work we want to do, being rewarded for that work, having things pay off. What a wonderful thing. What a wonderful direction to be pointed in. And so we want to go with that flow. Embody our inner Queen of Wands. Love on the people that we interact with, and we'll be good. As long as we let go of of the past, let go of the things that are cracked apart and cracked open and cracked down, right? That makes sense, doesn't it? I hope so. If it does, let me know in the comments below. If it does not, let me know in the comments below. I really want to hear from you. And friends, I want to thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all for walking with me on this journey. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up button and subscribing. That helps the channel. It helps other people find the channel. So you help other people when you do those things. Thank you for doing those things. And if you want a reading from me, my email address is below. thehangedmaninthemoon@gmail.com. Shoot me an email. We'll get you a reading. Or let me know in the comments below. We'll find a way to meet up on another platform that's more secure, and we will get you a reading. Okay? Okay. Thank you. And friends, now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.